Hey guys, I am live. Sorry for being a little bit late. I had to put on my earrings because, oh gosh, I'm dropping things already. I had to put on my earrings because I'm obsessed with them. I saw them on Erin and I got them from the Black Dahlia Designs and they're not really that heavy. Hey, how are you? Hi Sarah, how are you doing? Thanks for joining. I have my favorite mug right here. Don't give a sip. I love it so much. It's from Target. But I figured I should get some caffeine before reading because this day has been kind of a weird long day already. And I figured caffeine may pick me up. I also have a headache. And when I have a headache, sometimes caffeine helps. So you all should tell me what you're reading. I am starting The Wife Upstairs. I've read a little bit of it, but I got it in Book of the Month for December. And this is actually the first Book of the Month book I've gotten. And it's so cute how they put the name, or sorry, not the name, the month down here in the year. Hi, how are you? Thanks for joining. I can't believe people are joining. I did this so last minute. So thank you all who are here. Let me know what you're reading if you guys want to. I'm about 36 pages into this book and I like it so far. I know so many people have already read it and I just haven't read it yet. So I decided to pick it up last night, but I only was able to read for a little bit. So it's really interesting. I know it's a retelling, but I don't know the story of Jane Eyre, which I don't know if that's embarrassing or not. But I am enjoying this story so far. It's definitely intriguing. Let me just quick post on my Instagram story to let people know that I'm live. And while I do this, my shirt says, "Where's the coffee?" which I thought was pretty fitting. It's technically a pajama top, which is funny, but I wear it all the time and it's just so comfortable. And of course, I'm obsessed with coffee. You all probably know that already. If you don't, hello, my name is Savannah and I am obsessed with coffee to probably an unhealthy extent. But yeah, I love me some coffee. You guys should comment if you're coffee people, and if you are, how many cups a day you drink. I'm putting this on Instagram right now. Change it to blue. Okay. Anyway, hello. I'm more present now. Clockwork Angel for me. Desperately need to finish a book this year. Is it going to be your first book? Congratulations. The Tourist Attraction. I've never heard of that. It kind of sounds like a contemporary fiction, I'm assuming. Maybe a romance? I don't know. Hello! That's okay. No worries. I know time differences are so all over the place with BookTube, which is really awesome, but also it can make things hard to join. I'm reading The Wife Upstairs, so I took this off, but you can see. The Wife Upstairs, I love this cover so much. Absolutely love it. And then the back is really cute as well. Love it. Coffee is life. Yes, it is my whole entire heart and soul. Coffee. 1 to 2 a day. That's me. I try to stop myself at 3. I always do 2. Sometimes I do 3. This is my 3rd. Oh my gosh, you have 8 cups of coffee. That's amazing. I don't think my body could handle that. My soul could, but not my body. Hey, Abby, thanks for joining. Yes, you should read it. I've been seeing amazing reviews for it. I don't think I've seen anybody give it below a 4-star rating. So that's really exciting. And I've never read anything by Rachel Hawkins before. So it'll be really interesting to hear her writing style and everything. Thank you so much. All right, so I was thinking we could do 20-minute reading sprints and then take a little chatty break in the middle. So let me know in the comments if 20 minutes is good, but I will get ready to share my screen with you all. And here we go. And I think I'm gonna start it now, if you're all good with that. Also, you are reading The Ravens. And of course, I'm so glad that you like reading sprints. All right, I'm gonna press start now. All right. I hope you all had fun reading for that 20 minutes. I'm gonna catch up on the comments now. Abby is reading Poison Study. You know, I've never heard of that either. I hope you're enjoying it. Have a nice sleep tonight. Oh, you're only allowed decaf. Something about decaf coffee to me, just it really doesn't taste the same. Like I'll have decaf coffee if I'm craving coffee at like 8 or 9 p.m. at night, which is honestly not that common because once I get to the nighttime, I really, really like wine. But if I'm craving coffee at night, I will have decaf. But decaf just doesn't do the same thing for me because something about the taste is a little bit off to me. It's not completely coffee taste, but yeah, I'm sorry you're only allowed decaf. Monica's reading The Ravens. I already pulled up some of these comments, but I'm just going to pull them up again. Let's go. You're at the bookstore. I hope you find some good books. Y'all will have to tell me how that first reading sprint went for you, how many pages you read. I read 14 again. This book is it's a bigger book. Well, it's not bigger, but it's a hardcover. And I don't read hardcovers quite as much. So it takes me a little bit longer to get through them. But I feel like 14 pages is okay. It's not awesome. I'm not really that fast of a reader, but I still can get through. I can't talk right now. I can still get through things semi-fast if I have quite a few hours to go through them. But you all should tell me how many pages you got through during that sprint. Wow, 33 pages. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I wish I could read that fast. I feel like I'm also sort of reading a little bit slow right now just because I've been really my mind has been all over the place today. I don't know. School's starting up next week and I have a lot that I'm juggling right now schedule wise. And whenever I go through transitional pages or just transitional times in life, not pages, transitional times, I just feel really off. Like I am just such a schedule person. And since it's going to change and I'm going to go back to school and my work schedule's changing, I just feel a little off. But yeah, 18 pages, very cool. 20 pages, awesome. Ooh, I'm not a good person to ask for which one of those books you should get. Hopefully other people know those books. Yeah, YA reads so much faster. I remember when I read more YA, I would get through books so fast. And now that I almost exclusively read adult fiction, it does really take a lot longer to get through. I didn't read anything, trying to find a mole that's inside of my wall. Oh no, that's not good. Good luck. I hope you find the mole. That sounds a little bit stressful. Thankfully, I don't have that in my house, but I will tell you guys a story. So I'm not originally from Texas, but I'm living in Texas right now because I go to school down here. And when my husband and I first moved into this rental house, I have like PTSD from this. There were so many cockroaches. And when I'm saying cockroaches, not the kind that show up because you're dirty, like the small ones, but the big water bugs. If any of you guys live in places with water bugs, it is not fun. They're like this big, they're huge, and they run super fast. And yeah, we've gotten it under control because now I'm crazy about just spraying the house all the time. But in the beginning, when we first moved in, since not many people, I think it was sitting dormant for a couple months at least, it was so bad. Like there were so many cockroaches and I was so terrified. And I was like, I want to move out of this house because cockroaches scare me so much. The animals that scare me the most are spiders and cockroaches. depends on the size of the spider. Like if it's smaller and doesn't move too fast, then I would prefer that over cockroaches. But if you guys are deathly afraid of cockroaches or spiders or anything else, you should tell me. I'm not afraid of snakes, actually. Yeah, I mean, I of course would be afraid if I saw a poisonous snake, but I don't run into them here. I haven't ever been in an area where I have to worry about poisonous snakes. Sarah says water bugs are literally Satan on earth. Yes. Yes. They're so scary. Like if you guys have never seen a water bug in person, they're awful. They're huge. They literally run so fast. They fly, by the way. I didn't know that they flew, but they fly and you're just like, why are you doing that? Yeah, they're not animals. They're literally Satan. I totally agree. They freak me out so much. I always am so stressed because it would be one thing if you could catch them easily or like kill them easily, but it's really hard to do that because they run so fast. So it's a whole thing. I could talk about this for hours. But yeah, water bugs terrify me, and it's like my worst experience I had with a water bug, or I'll just call them cockroaches. I was lying in bed, and to the right of our bed are like these two mirrors that are standing up pretty tall. And I'm getting ready for bed. I'm kind of lying down and like getting settled in, whatever. I think I was about to read, honestly, because I read before bed all the time. And I saw this like motion or this movement in the corner of my eye. And I looked over and there was this big cockroach, and it was just like climbing over the mirror. And we have a small bedroom because this is just a rental house and it's a pretty small rental. And oh my gosh, it was terrifying. And so I screamed, and then my husband ran in, and then we couldn't find it. And we're like, we can't find it anywhere. And then we saw it was behind our dresser, but our dresser is so heavy. I think it's oak. It's really heavy. And so it's really hard to move. And so he was like, I genuinely can't catch this water bug at this angle. And I was like, what are we going to do? So I was so freaked out that I had this like adrenaline rush. You know how you hear about people like picking up cars when they have like an adrenaline rush? I literally had this surge of like strength come over me, and I like picked up I picked it up, and I was like, oh, and I moved it over, and then we were finally able to get it from a good angle. But yeah, superhuman strength moment for sure. But yes, that's my story. I'm grossed out by ants. I feel like it's because they travel in such large groups. Oh my gosh, yes. I feel that so much. When there's like a cluster of anything, I hate that word. Ugh. When there's a cluster or a huge group of animals together, like small animals, it really freaks me out. This is becoming like a phobia chat. Like, what are your phobias? Because for me, it's like certain kinds of bugs are my phobias. Also, if we're going phobias, like what scares me the most, just in general, there's a few things, but I'm really scared of clowns. I hate clowns so much. They freak me out. When I was young, I was really scared. I guess I still kind of am very unnerved by people in costumes. What I mean by costumes is like if they're in full body costumes, like what you see in amusement parks and stuff, like those would freak me out so much. Because you don't know who's behind it, and something about that is just so scary to me. Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys are scared of. This is kind of a fun little, I don't know. I like hearing from other people their biggest fears because it's so interesting. It's kind of like why I like discussing horror movies with people and what specifically scare them in the horror movie, because somebody could go and watch the same exact horror movie and one person could be terrified because it really struck a chord with them, and then the other person could not be scared at all. Oh, I gotta look up what this is. It sounds so familiar. Oh my gosh, gross. I shouldn't have looked that up. Gross. So it's basically the cluster thing where it's like clusters and patterns. Yeah, I feel that. One of my really close friends is scared of like holes, like a well or something where you can't see, like just a black hole and not knowing what's in it. I get it. It's not like a phobia of mine, but I can understand why that would be scary. And I know a lot of people are grossed out by clusters and stuff like that for sure. Yeah, I think my big things are bugs, and I think my big thing is bugs, honestly. Yeah, I'm very expressive. I've always been so expressive. Like, I cannot hide what I'm thinking or my emotions very well, which can get me in trouble in certain situations because like I'll have this reaction and not even know it. And then people will be like, "Oh my gosh, your reaction." And I'm like, "What?" You could tell a reaction. So yeah, I'm very expressive. So yes, I will probably make many faces for a while. Actually, probably for my whole life because I can't turn that off. I can if I'm at work and I'm like interacting with a customer. Like if anybody does retail on here, you know what I mean. In retail, you learn on it, just act so friendly at like in just it's like all of a sudden, so you can be having a really annoyed like customer experience, like you're walking around, people are leaving a mess everywhere, and you can be like talking to your coworkers and being like, "Oh, this day is the worst, like can't wait to get off." And then someone comes up to you and you're like, "Hi, how are you doing? I can't wait to help you. Like, what can I help you with?" It's like, yes. Uh, I can't stare at sponges or a shower head for too long. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would make sense. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that would be disturbing if you have that phobia. All right, shall we sprint again? I think we shall. I'm going to do 20 minutes again. I think that's a good amount of time for sprinting. All right, I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to start it. All right. How's everybody's reading going? The mole has been captured and has been released back into the wild. Yay, I'm so glad. That sounds like quite the job trying to find it. I was at a gas station a few weeks ago and a mouse just like ran past my feet. And it was like a nice gas station and everything. But that startled me. I straight up jumped like 3 feet. Was running so fast. And yeah, I'm just glad it didn't like crawl on me. I forgot where I left off in the book, but this book is switching perspectives, which I'm actually really happy about. I love books that switch perspectives. I always feel like they're a little bit more interesting, especially with thrillers. I just really like piecing everything together. And this book is pretty good so far. It's not super fast paced yet, but I'm only 70 pages in. Let's see how long it is. 290 pages. So it's really interesting. I mean, it's just not so fast paced, but I'm getting more and more into it. So yeah. How many pages did you guys read? I'm curious. I need to do a reading test where I figure out how many words I can read per minute because I've never sat down and done that. And I'm very curious because I always think I'm kind of more of a slow reader. But then I'll say that to people I know outside of BookTube, and everybody's like, "You're not a slow reader at all." So I really don't know what kind of reader I am. And I feel like if I take a words per minute test, it would be helpful for me to know. So I'll see what I am. I'm trying to think if there's any interesting updates for me with my channel. I have quite a few live shows coming up. Ooh, Sarah says she wants to recommend The Kind Worth Killing. That's by Peter Swanson, I think, and I've never read anything by him, and I've heard mixed reviews, but I really do want to read it. It's definitely on my TBR. I don't know if it's actually technically on my Goodreads TBR yet. Let me look. I should add it because I know a lot of people like it. I've heard that some people are disappointed by it, but let's see. I'm going to mark it as want to read, and it has a 4 on Goodreads. I'm curious if you guys base what you want to read off of Goodreads reviews. I usually do it if I'm like between a couple different books. I don't always do it, but if I have a few books that I want to read, I'll usually look them up on Goodreads and see what has the highest rating. And I never read anything under a 3-star rating. And I usually read stuff with like an average of at least 3.5 stars to 4 stars ish. So it'd be interesting to hear if you guys base stuff off of Goodreads. I know the Goodreads app is kind of annoying, but I really do like it now that I'm updating it pretty frequently. I can track what I'm reading pretty well. And for my Goodreads challenge, I am going to try to read 50 books. So I think I'll be fine on that. It says I'm 3 books ahead of schedule. I've read 4 books so far this year. Technically 3.5 because I read part of Mexican Gothic back in December. But I had to put it aside because I was doing Bookmas and I had a lot of reading plans that were not Mexican Gothic. But yes, so I read Mexican Gothic, half of it. And then I read The Patient, which is pretty short. I think it was only 204 pages and it's a tiny little book. So I read that. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. And then I read The Haunting of Hill House, and Sarah was right when we were talking about it on our reading sprint. She was like, I hated it. Nothing happens. And I really liked the setup, but then nothing happened. So I gave it a 1 star. And I think that's the lowest I've ever rated a book, which I feel bad about because I know it's like a classic in horror, but it just didn't mesh with me. And then I read I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which Sarah gifted me, and I absolutely loved it so much. I gave it a 5-star rating. So far this year, I've read 2 5-star books, 1 4-star book. I rated Mexican Gothic 4 stars. And then I read a 1-star book. So it's overall been good. You generally don't check Goodreads till after you're done with it. Oh yeah, checking how your friends rate it. That's smart. I do like going through and seeing what my Goodreads friends rate books as. It's helpful to me. I generally agree with what people in my friends list say. Sometimes I don't. Horror and thriller novels are so subjective. I feel like everybody's going to have a different opinion of them, but I mean, I feel like I'm trying to think of the people I have the most similar tastes to on BookTube. I definitely have similar tastes to Sarah. I think we disagreed on Mexican Gothic because she hated it. But the other books she's recommended and rated highly, I have enjoyed. Hannah says, I only check the Goodreads score if I'm reviewing it myself. I usually choose what to read based on recommendations from other people. Yes, I base it off of recommendations as well. I love watching YouTube recommendation videos. Ooh, you read I'm Thinking of Ending Things last year and loved it. Yeah, it was amazing. I thought it felt sort of like a Black Mirror episode, and I have watched a lot of Black Mirror. I haven't actually watched the whole series. Some of them are so sad, though. They kind of bring me down a little bit, but I really liked the Star Trek episode. I think that was the first one I ever watched of Black Mirror. And then I really liked the video game one where that guy tests out a video game. I thought it was pretty scary. Something with a spider happens, which, yeah, freaked me out. But what else did I like of Black Mirror? Let me know if you guys watch Black Mirror. I watched the first episode, even though I was warned not to. And that one was really disturbing and like just so sad. And then I feel like the whole first season had some of my least favorite ones. Like I was not really happy with the Black Mirror episodes in the first season. I really liked the Ashley O one with Miley Cyrus in it. I thought that one was good. It was actually kind of funny at parts. I really liked that one. I need to read more shows though. Sarah highly recommends rereading I'm Thinking of Ending Things after I've let it simmer in my mind for a while. Yeah, I agree. I do want to revisit it, and I want to revisit it in audiobook form. So yeah, I do want to do that. 10 rules. Oh. Bot. I learned that that person is a bot, or that thing is a bot. I almost read it. I learned that in my last stream. That this last name, however you pronounce it, is a bot, like every single time. Which is kind of annoying. I don't know why. Bacarisis? I don't even know. I already pulled that comment up. I watched McKay's discussion on I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and it was so in-depth. So I would highly recommend it. McKay's Book Club on YouTube. He did a discussion about his analysis. It was so interesting and so in-depth, and I was so impressed. When I read a book, I guess I just don't think, I don't want to say I don't think deeply, but I don't usually take straight up notes. So yeah. Repeating the audio. Yes. You told me it was amazing, and other people have said that the audiobook is really, really good. Speaking of good audiobooks, if any of you guys have not read The Guest List, read it audiobook form. It's so much, I don't know, it's just so enjoyable listening to The Guest List because there's a complete cast and everything, and it made it, because it alternates between perspectives, so it's really helpful to just hear the accents and the voices. And I just loved The Guest List. It was my favorite book that I read in 2020. I mean, I really love Pretty Girls. It was like pretty much tied, but just straight up enjoyment level, I like The Guest List the best. Alex is here. Hey, thanks. Thanks for liking my earrings. They're from the Black Dahlia Designs. I saw them on Erin's channel and immediately messaged her and was like, can I copy you? Because they're so cute. They're called Spirit Hands, and they're surprisingly not heavy. Like, you would think they would be heavy, but this material is not bad at all. And then also, I wore these in my last stream, but I got these, well, I was gifted these cute alien ones. So adorable. I love them. They're really cute on. They're a little bit more subtle, but again, these are just honestly, they're not heavy at all. And then let's see if I can find a nice logo here. Well, this is the box they came in. Really pretty. Oop, there we go. Really, really pretty. And she hand makes all of these, which I'm just so impressed by people who are artsy. And her name's Maddie, the owner. I believe she's located in California. So anybody who likes spooky earrings or just spooky stuff, but also she does like other cute earrings as well. Let me show you guys. Well, her Instagram is adorable. She has a lot of people modeling on there. The Black Dahlia Designs. Okay, so she has these cute heart. Let's see if you guys can see. It's hard. It's there we go. Cute heart earrings that are coming out, I think, for Valentine's Day. And I can't believe I've been seeing Valentine's Day stuff in stores already, which I know everything's always so early. Just like Christmas, it always like just comes out so early, but I'm excited for all the heart earrings and stuff. They look like the cover of Shadows. Yeah, they really do. I haven't read that book, but you're right, they do. I love them. Yes, the alien aesthetic. Yes. So I really want to get into the X-Files, the show. And I've watched some of the episodes, but so I think you all probably have heard of the X-Files. It started a long time ago. I think it started in the 90s. I could be wrong. Don't come for me if I'm wrong. But basically, it's a show about unexplained events and the FBI. I think they're part of the FBI. I don't know. I probably sound dumb because I'm like having trouble explaining it. But basically there's some like alien mythology in it. And I would always skip those episodes just because they all connected. Whereas all the other episodes pretty much didn't connect and you could just watch them as like standalones. But the last time I checked, it's on Hulu. And I watched one of the episodes that actually got banned from the air because it was like really disturbing. And I really like that episode, but I really should start watching the X-Files. Guys, there's so many things I really, really need to watch. I have so many TV shows and movies on my, just like, I don't want to say TBR, what? On my list going in my head of what I want to watch. Like, I still haven't watched The Haunting of Bly Manor, and I really want to because I love The Haunting of Hill House. I really want to watch the X-Files. I've heard of just some other show recommendations that I should check out. Do you guys have any show recommendations for me? I would love to hear them. I heard there's a really like crazy show on Hulu about a teacher and a student who like are in a relationship and it's super disturbing. So I've been interested in that one. Yeah, the X-Files. I'm glad you liked it. I watched the X-Files with my mom when I was in high school, but I haven't nearly seen all the episodes. There were a few that were kind of creepy, if I remember right. Like the one that was banned from the air, that one was disturbing and creepy. There was one with like a possession-y kind of thing that freaked me out, a cult. Hello, thanks for joining. new to me horror movies yesterday. Yes, I'm so glad. So what she's referring to is I have a long list. It's actually not really a spreadsheet. It's not that cool, but it's a list of every single horror movie I've ever seen. Should I share my screen with you so you guys can see what I've watched? Hey Rain, thanks for joining. You joined just in time to hear me talk about horror movies. I don't know, let me see if I can share my screen. If not, I can just read off some of the horror movies I've seen because I love horror movies and I still have so many horror movies to watch. Let's see. Trying to figure out how to share my screen. Okay, here. Okay, so the horror movies I've seen. Okay, so this is not an order of what I've seen. And I've honestly probably seen like more horror movies, but this is just a rough list. So I've seen The Descent. Oh, and by the way, what I have in bold are like my favorites. I really love The Descent and Creep. The Invitation, I loved it. Oh yeah, and I marked if I rewatched it. I loved it way more than It Chapter 2. Let's see. I really like Mungo. It's kind of like a mock documentary. Let's see. Yes, here for the horror talk. I feel ya. You can't watch horror. I love horror. I'm sorry. I feel sad for you. I love horror so much. Oh, watch The Green Inferno. Oh yeah. I can't watch that. I don't know if you all know, but I'm really sensitive to like torture. I can't really watch torture in horror movies. There's some small exceptions to that, but yeah. I watched all the Cube movies, even though they honestly were kind of terrible. But I watched them. I didn't really pay attention to them. I feel like I was doing other stuff at the same time. Loved The Witch, you guys. Loved. Yes, I've seen Sinister. I feel like it's not on this. Maybe I left it off, honestly. Let me see. Oh yeah, here it is, Sinister. I liked Sinister, but I want to rewatch it. I'm definitely going to rewatch it before our stream we all do together because I know it's a lot of people's favorite horror movies. Sinister is my second favorite horror movie ever. Oh my gosh. I really need to rewatch it and I want to watch the second Sinister movie. I really liked Wreck, the foreign one. That one freaked me out. I watched it when lightning struck this tree that was really, really close to my husband's. Well, it wasn't a dorm, but it was like a college apartment, and it struck right by us right during the movie, and it was really scary. Oh, and Hereditary. I love, love, love Hereditary so much. I really need to rewatch it. Yes, I love The Witch so much. I want to rewatch that one too. It actually really freaked me out, like for sure. Yes, Sinister is one of your favorites. I really need to rewatch Sinister. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I don't know why it didn't speak to me as much as I wanted it to when I first watched it. I could have just been in a weird mood because everybody talks about how great it is. Sinister 2. I want to see Sinister 2. I know it's on, I think it's on Netflix right now. Love Midsummer, you guys. Such a good movie. I loved how it was in the daytime and there wasn't a single scene that was at night. I thought that was so effective. Wow, I can't talk. Come on, bring it back. Sorry, my computer was lagging. Gretel and Hansel, I'm assuming? Yes, Gretel and Hansel. I've really been wanting to watch that one. I know I don't know if any of you guys watch Possessed by Horror. She has a YouTube channel and she talks about movies, but she really, really loved Gretel and Hansel and really spoke highly of it, which made me want to watch it. Okay, I recently watched some classics too. So I watched the original Halloween. I have no idea why I hadn't watched it, but I really liked it. It was so fun and campy. And then I watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And actually, there's a free documentary on YouTube about it, which was, for me, almost more interesting than the actual movie. Just hearing about how it was just this amateur group of filmmakers from Austin, Texas, and just everything that they went through. And fun fact, so the guy who played, oh shoot, I don't remember his name, but like the famous guy with the chainsaw, he had to wear the same costume for a whole month straight without washing it in the Texas heat. And people were saying it smelled so bad. And I believe it. Like, Texas summers are insane. And, you know, he's holding a chainsaw and like moving around. Like, he's probably sweating like crazy. So I can only imagine. Okay, and then I watched Hellraiser, which, guys, I really liked it. I actually really liked it. I didn't think I would like it, and I don't really want to watch the sequels, but I liked Hellraiser. It was good. Here's some like classics. I don't know if they're all considered classics, but I watched Psycho, Jaws, Hellraiser, The Nightmare on Elm Street, which, by the way, didn't really like that one. Silence of the Lambs, loved that movie. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I just think it's so good. Rear Window, The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man was just weird. Like, the scene where she's dancing naked was kind of iconic. I really liked it. It was hilarious. I was laughing a lot. Hellraiser 2 is as good as 1. That's good to know. Maybe I should give it a try. Yeah. So that's my list. I probably am missing some stuff on there, but ooh, okay. Sorry, I need to catch up with this. Catch up with the comments. Jay from the Cup of Jay talked about it and made me want to watch it. Yeah, that's awesome. I really need to catch up on her videos. How is The Lighthouse horror? I'm curious because it doesn't look like a horror movie. I'm assuming you're talking about The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson, maybe? Clarify. But I watched that. I've seen The Perfection. I have seen, yeah. It's very, very odd. And it's kind of funny as a music major to watch that because you're like, yeah, I get that. I feel that. You agree that Hellraiser 2 is as good as 1. Okay, you guys have successfully convinced me to watch Hellraiser 2. I need to watch it now. But yeah, The Lighthouse, it took me a whole day to process what I had seen. Like, I watched it and I was like, what did I just see? And I looked it up, and when I researched, it made a lot more sense. But I went into it really not knowing what to expect. I knew it was sort of like old-timey, but it was not what I was expecting. Let me just say that. Yeah, you saw it on my list. Yeah, it was good. I feel like you should watch it. I think it was good. It's like nothing I've ever seen before, and Robert Pattinson did a really good job acting in that, I think. I think he's a really good actor, which still surprises me because in Twilight, you all know, in Twilight, if you've seen it, his acting is not very good. Neither is Kristen Stewart's acting, but I haven't actually seen anything else that she's been in. I heard she's okay, actually, in other roles, but I guess the source material for Twilight kind of maybe made it hard to make the acting good. Hello, thanks for joining. I'm doing reading sprints, but I'm kind of sidetracked talking about horror movies because I love horror movies. What's The Lighthouse about? Honestly, I don't want to really say what it's about. All you need to know is Robert Pattinson's character goes to an island to help out at a lighthouse, and it's mysterious, and you don't really know what's going on. And he's not really talking, and then the guy, I forgot what his name is. I don't want to butcher the guy's name, but the older man who lives at the lighthouse is very odd, and they're kind of fighting, and then things happen. I want to be really vague. I really like going into movies without really knowing much because, well, actually books too. but even more so movies, because I feel like if I watch the trailers, everything is given away, and I hate that. Like the movies I've liked the most, I think I haven't watched trailers for, and they surprise me the most. I don't know what to expect. Yeah. I'm glad you love horror too. Honestly, I love horror so much, and I find it hard to watch other stuff. I know there's plenty of people who love horror who watch other genres and like it, but for me, something about other genres just don't capture my attention as much, and I have sort of a I don't know. I think I might have ADHD. I just have trouble concentrating, and with horror, it just keeps my attention. Whereas with other things, like I'll start daydreaming and kind of thinking about, I don't know, things I want to do instead of watching it. Whereas with horror, if it's a good horror movie, I'm just like so engaged, and I love the adrenaline it gives me if I'm actually scared, which I have a hard time being scared with horror movies now because I've seen so many, but I'll never forget certain horror movies that freaked me out. Like I watched The Conjuring, and it really freaked me out when I watched it. I watched it not in theaters, but shortly after it came out. And I think I had seen Insidious before that, but The Conjuring is definitely a step up from Insidious, in my opinion. And speaking of Insidious, I like the second Insidious better than the first. But all right, maybe we should do some reading. I went on a horror movie tangent, but yeah. Glad to hear there's other horror lovers here. Ooh, what's your favorite horror? Yeah, I don't know. If you're just talking about horror movies, I think Ari Aster's movies are probably my favorites, but I don't have like a favorite horror movie. It's a few. And I also need to rewatch some of my favorites that I've seen. I don't know. I need to rewatch more of my horror movies on my list that I really liked and reassess my feelings about them. So that's my answer for that. I'm going to start 20 minutes in a second. I lost where my timer was. I'm just going to pull it up. I think I closed out of it, honestly. And then we'll sprint again. Yes, I'm so excited for Saturday too. We're going to be talking about horror movies, and there's just a group of really cool people that I'm going to have on my channel. We're going to talk about our favorite horror movies, and then we're going to go into spoilers about Hereditary and Midsummer. I'm waiting for a few other people to answer if they've seen it, but I think everybody in our group has seen it. So yeah, join. It'll be a fun time. Yes. All right, I'm going to start the timer. Sorry, guys, I'm struggling. It's not wanting to share my tab. Hold on. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Share. There we go. Sorry. I'm going to reset it. Okay. All right. You're back. I think that was my last writing sprint for tonight, though. I'm sorry. Just in time for you to get back, but I have some stuff I need to do, and this was just super impromptu, but thank you all for joining. I hope you had a fun time. I am now 84 pages into the book, and it's picking up so far. I'm loving it, but it kind of depends on where the plot goes. So I will definitely be letting you all know in my vlog that I'm putting out sometime soon what I think of it. I hope I can finish it in the next day or two. So yeah, well, thanks for joining, and I will talk to you